It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday and it's time for
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show, a week removed from destroying the N pad and throwing it in the bin. And what did you say? It's in eighths. And I still think that's an absolutely terrible trick. However, we're back with a review this week of another terrible trick. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible. But don't worry about it because there's some really good tricks on this review show as well. 4 tricks altogether, one of which we're not going to perform because it is so pants. But you're going to get 3 performances. And we're going to get into this review show right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it's always a good day at Magic TV when a new trick comes in that Ryland can review that involves Rubik's Cube. So I think we should start off with that right now. Okay, so the first trick that we have to review this week is Mirror Rubik's Cube by Rodrigo Romano. Mysteries presents Mirror Rubik's Cube.
This is the big size,
and it's from
also got a miniature size.
Yeah, so it comes in 2 sizes. That's important to note. There is the big, huge, massive size. There's the miniature size.
Proper size Rubik's Cube.
And it's exactly the same. The only difference is the big version comes with the big cube. The mini version comes with the mini cube.
Obviously.
And it's honest in its marketing. It says a very visual trick or a very visual effect for social networks. And this is true for social media. This is brilliant. We talked about you doing this on your Instagram, didn't we? Because this is really good for Instagram. However, I do think that this will work in live situations as well. Now, for sure, you're not going to be able to do this walk around. Forget about it. You're not going to be able to do this at banquet tables. Forget about it. But I think not walk around. But yeah, I think for a parlor show, doing close-up magic where the audience is in front of you and you've got control over them, I think this is amazing. And you know, there's going to be people out there going, "Oh, how often do you perform parlor shows?" Very, very often. I mean, most of my gigs these days are stage shows or parlor shows. This will work really well. The stage version.
You don't get many people in parlor shows.
Yeah, it's less than 20, isn't it? Less than 20. I would even take the big version, and I would even use the big version in a cabaret show because I would do it on stage. Yeah, you do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of Rubik's Cube stuff with my stage show. You do a lot of Rubik's Cube stuff in your stage show, and this would make a really cool introduction, a really cool opener to a Rubik's Cube act. It says here, mirrors are magic because they duplicate and transform reality. You'll be able to achieve this with Mirror Rubik's Cube, duplicating multiple times a Rubik's Cube or changing it into a different object.
It duplicates 2 times.
Yeah, it does. Well, why don't you do a performance of the duplication? And then once you've done a performance, we can talk about what we think. Sound good? Let's do that right now.
I'm going to show you a trick with the Rubik's Cube, a miniature Rubik's Cube, and the mirror.
Okay.
Okay. Now if I put the mirror in front of the Rubik's Cube, like that.
Okay.
You can see 2, can't you?
Yeah, because there's one in the reflection.
Yeah, but if I snap my fingers, it actually comes true.
Whoa! 2 Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah, look, I'll do it again. Look. You see it?
Yes, I do.
Push it forward a bit. 1, 2, 3. Look.
Whoa! Very cool.
Do you know what? If I really wanted to, I could duplicate my fingers.
So that was a performance of the duplication, and that kind of reminded me a little bit of Triple Helix, which I said I didn't like, and you know, obviously everyone knows I'm not a big fan of Triple Helix. I do actually like the way that actually works, although it's very, very similar. They kind of go into the tutorial more in depth into how to manage the audience when you're actually making these cubes appear. I like the idea of having this little mini Rubik's Cube, putting the mirror in front, and the mirror is great. Obviously, this is based on sort of Paul Harris's Eclipse. But what's really nice about it is with Rubik's Cubes, it looks so visual. Yeah. Because you take the mirror, they see 2 cubes.
I've seen something like this before.
Yeah, I do it with coins. I do it with coins quite a lot. It's something that happens a lot with coins. But yeah, so which was originally by Paul Harris. So yeah, I mean it looks really visual as an opening routine. Ryland used the mini cube, But I mean, you've used the big cube; it works just as well. Just that moment of saying, "Hey, I want to show you something with the Rubik's cube." Watch, boom. Actually, that's 2 Rubik's cubes. Boom, that's 3 Rubik's cubes, and you're left with a real Rubik's cube, aren't you? And I think that's important for people to know. You have 2 gimmicks that you can't use, and you're left after the production with a real Rubik's cube. So if you've got the mini Rubik's cube, it's a real mini Rubik's cube. If you use the big Rubik's cube, it's a real big Rubik's cube. And you said it's one of the best cubes you've ever handled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to get it? It's there. No. So why is this cube so good?
You know, I use it like that to test it, but look at this.
Oh wow, it goes all the way around. Is that like the sign of a good speed cube, is it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That went 1.5 then. Oh.
Okay. So it's a good Rubik's cube. So it comes with a really good Rubik's cube. And after you've done the production, you're left with a real Rubik's cube that you can use in whatever routine you want to go into. So if you want to do like a mix and do a 1-move solve, you can go straight into that, because obviously this is
easy to handle Rubik's cube.
Yeah, it's a really easy to handle Rubik's cube. So there's that, which is really good, and I really like that. I really like that. The transformation is quite good as well. You've been playing around with the transformation, where you can take an object and have that object. You can have a Rubik's cube and something else, and you can have the mirror change the cube into the something else, which is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the important thing for people to note, you have to be careful with the gimmicks. It's not like a Henry Harrius type cubes gimmick where they're made injection molded and plastic and everything. It's kind of low tech in terms of how the gimmick's made. It's you get a variety of different shells, and they're made out of like a really durable cardboard, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're not like Henry's quality of shells. They're like what you use for cube in bottle, which is like really super good quality. This is made out of cardboard.
That's like almost metal.
Yeah, this is something that's made out of cardboard, which is fine as long as you're aware of that. But I mean, if you sat on the gimmick for this, you'd be in trouble, right? So you need to be careful. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a great production. It does a transformation. They've got this really nice idea.
If you sat on a Henry Harrius gimmick, like
you'd be fine.
The rubber bottle, or
anything, you'd be absolutely fine. Yeah, exactly. With this, so the other thing they do, which is really nice, is they've got a solve cube and a mixed up cube, and they solve the cube just by putting the mirror in front and taking it away, which I thought was really nice as well.
Does that? I don't think that works with the big cube, but I know it definitely works with the miniature cube.
Yeah, it does work with the big cube as well. Yep. You get the gimmick to do with the big cube. So yeah, I mean, it's really nice. It's a great product. It's I think you just need to be aware. If you're a walk around performer, if you only perform walk around, and you don't have a table in front of you and you do everything in the spectator's hands, this is absolutely not for you. If you do this, if you do table magic and you're just doing table magic in a restaurant, this is not for you, because the angles are not great, are they? You have to have people directly in front of you. If they're to the side, they're going to see how it works. If they're behind, you're going to see how it works. They have to be directly in front of you. As long as you perform in an environment where you can control the angles, then you'll be absolutely fine. As I say, if you were doing a parlor show and you were going into a series of cube routines with a parlor show, I would absolutely do this in a heartbeat. Would you?
Yeah.
TikTok magicians and social media magicians and Instagram magicians, you need to get this in your life like right now, because this is perfect for social media. But it's also fine, as I say, in a live performance environment. I'm going to give this, I'm doing a lot of parlor shows at the moment. I do a lot of cube magic in my parlor show. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this 90%. What are you giving it?
I'm going to give it 100.
100%. Well, you love anything with cubes, don't you? As long as it's good. You think this is trick of the week? Well, I don't know what's coming up. I think you're probably right. I think this is trick of the week. Trick of the week, 90%. As I say, some people are going to be watching this review and they're going to go, it's absolutely not for me. And that's fine. If this isn't for you, if it doesn't fit your environment or your persona, that's absolutely fine. I think it's really good. I think it's really magical. I do Eclipse by Paul Harris quite a lot, so I know how good it is involving reflections and mirrors. People find them really magical. The mirror's really well made. The gimmicks, despite being made out of cardboard, are really well made. They look real. You get a lot of stuff with it. The tutorial's good, whether you get the small version or the big version. It's recommended.
We got both.
Yeah, we've got both. Let's move on.
I've got a coin and a Rubik's Cube. Now, you know when you put a mirror in front of the coin, it looks like there's 2 coins.
Yes.
Now, when I snap, it's true. You do get 2 coins.
What? That's crazy. Next up, we have A.B.See. That's A.B.Se.E. by Spidey. Now, Spidey's made a name for himself by being one of the most engaging and top mentalists in the country. And it's easy to see why with this project. This came out directly through Murphy's Magic. First thing I want to say is the packaging is awesome. I know that's not important to some people, but when you see as many packages as we do, it's nice to see good quality packaging. This is really good quality packaging, isn't it? And what it is it's a mind-reading thing. It's basically a set of custom printed cards designed to look like flash cards that you would get as a kid. They do look like flashcards, don't they?
Yeah.
That you'd get as a kid when you're learning to read and write. You would expect a kid to have something like this, but the thing is, because there's images on them, they look, there's a lot you can actually do with it. And the secret behind this trick is super clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, super clever. What do you get in the set? Just grab the box there for a minute. So what you get here, this is the box that it comes with. And it says on there, 26 illustrated flashcards for play and learning. Even 26. The box looks like a flashcard, easy learning, travel size. But you actually get
2+.
You get 2+. You actually get 26 times 2. You actually get 2 sets in there.
And you get extra. And you get like other cards.
Yeah, you get extra cards.
So it says, as it said here, 52 pieces.
Yeah, so you actually get some gimmick cards as well that are used in some of the routines.
Stack, so you got 52 pieces.
Yeah, you get a ton of stuff. You get an absolute ton of stuff. Now, there's like 5 or 6 live performances in there. The whole tutorial runs for like 2.5 hours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We watched a lot of it, didn't we? It took us forever.
Yeah, we watched about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, we skipped a couple of little bits, didn't we? But we watched most of it. Yeah. And you're going to perform one of the routines off there. So Ryland's going to perform a routine off A.B.See. So let's run that performance right now.
When I was about 3 years old, I used to use flashcards.
Okay. I remember, actually. I do remember. Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of them to read and write here. Mm-hmm. I've got an umbrella. We've got a bunch of stuff like ring, juice, acorn, nut.
Yeah?
Nut. Okay, now I'm just going to mix these up.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to cut the cards.
Cut the cards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, now, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say stop, that's the one you like, so...
Stop on one I like.
Yeah, like connects to you.
Connects to me. Okay, think of one that connects to me. I can do that. Mm-hmm. Nothing's connecting right now. I'm still not feeling connected. I'm so connected. That one there, that I'm connected to. That one there, I feel so connected. Well, those 3.
Those 3 are, they're stuff that, these are the other 3 that I'm going to figure out.
You're going to figure out what those are?
Yeah, but first. I'm going to figure out them first.
You're going to figure out these 3 first?
Yeah.
What about the one I thought about?
We'll do that after.
You're making this very hard for yourself, but okay then, go on then.
Shut up. We've got a juice.
A juice?
Yeah, juice. Letter. And quill.
Juice, letter. You're telling me these are juice, letter, and quill?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
Juice, letter, quill.
That's very good.
Now, the one you were thinking of, look me in the eyes.
I'm looking at you.
Oh, I'll make you one of these every day.
You make me one of these every day?
Yeah. Something that you drink.
Yes, it's something that I drink.
Sometimes I give you an Irish one.
You do give me an Irish one sometimes, yes.
Coffee.
It is a coffee. By the way, he makes the best coffee in the world.
Mug.
It is a well, yeah. I mean, I saw a mug. Yeah, it's a mug, but it looks like there's a coffee in it. And frankly, I love my coffee. Yeah, that's correct, man. That's awesome. Really good. So that was a really good performance, Ryan. That was a really good performance. Now you learned this. I'm going to ask you some questions. First of all, we don't want to give away how this trick works, but it is going to require some memory work, isn't it?
Yeah.
How hard is the memory work? Because there's magicians out there, and I know they're scared of memorization, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything that I have to memorize stuff for. How difficult is the memory work here?
Not that difficult.
How long did it take you to do it?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's absolutely true, isn't it? 5 minutes of listening to Spidey and knowing what you need to do in order to memorize everything. Ryland had it down immediately because it's designed in such a way that it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Like as soon as you know what you need to remember, it's kind of automatic, isn't it? Spidey says that by the following day you'll have it down. I reckon you'll have it down that day if you want to try hard enough. My memory is nowhere near as good as Ryland's, and I can tell you immediately. I know all of these. All of these. I can tell you.
What's P?
Well, we don't want to give it away. We don't want to give away what it is. We don't want to give away the method. But I know all of this. Now, what these allow you to do, it doesn't look like it's in any particular order, and the routines will, during the course of the routines that Spidey does, he's having the cards mixed and shuffled and cut. But, I mean, what it allows you to do is do some really clever mind-reading pieces. He's doing drawing duplications. He's doing direct mind-reading. A lot of this stuff is great. And the reason the project is 2.5 hours long is Spidey goes really in-depth on full shuffles and false cuts, and he spends a lot of time talking about cold reading, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. So he talks about because he's a very engaging mind reader, and rather than a lot of the time he'll say, "Hey, think of one of these that it can relates to you," and when they've got one, he'll use that information to do a cold reading on them, which makes the actual revelation seem even stronger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, what's the reset like? Let me ask you that. These are the important questions.
Yeah. Resets not that much.
It's pretty much instant, isn't it?
Yeah, you just need to put a card in a special place. If you've only used one card, but yeah.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of routines that kind of put everything back together during the course of the routine, hasn't he? Which is really clever as well. What are the angles like?
Angles. Doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, there's no angles at all. I know that people are going to ask these questions. Do you need a table? I don't think you do. But you can just do it like this and say, hold on to these and look after them.
Yes, okay.
You don't need a table, really, do you?
No.
And yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say. It's the perfect commercial walk-around tool designed to help read minds. And there's two parts to this. The first part is the props, and they are very good quality, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they will last an absolute long time, as long as a pack of cards, because they are really well made. They really are really well printed. You would be convinced that this is what it appears to be, which is a set of flashcards. So the props are really good. And then you've got the tutorial, and the tutorial is fantastic. Even if you were just getting the tutorial and you weren't getting the flashcards, the amount of information that Spidey puts across is incredible. He leaves no stone unturned, and he goes into everything in such detail, doesn't he? And one of my big problems with products that come out these days is they don't talk to you about everything that you need to know, and they just rush things through. Whilst Spidey has done exactly the opposite. He's gone into it in great detail. When you come out, you will be a better performer of mental magic or mind reading because of the techniques that Spidey teaches you. Even if you just listen to the section on cold reading and you apply it to your revelations when you're doing mind reading, it will make you a better performer. I absolutely love this. I think this is great. You put it in your pocket, you're ready to go, you can take it out, you can do it anytime, anywhere. It comes with a crib, doesn't it? It comes with a special crib that's printed on the back of a card, so you can put one to one side, and at the beginning, if you're forgetting how to do this stuff. You've got the crib there in front of you. Spidey's even got a particular routine that he teaches at the beginning, which doesn't require any memory work at all. So it gives you confidence in using the props. But as he goes on, he teaches you more routines, which is great. And there's tons of live performances to real people. That's the other thing I hate about a lot of stuff. They don't have live performances, but this has live performances to real people of every single routine.
Lots of swearing in one of them.
There was lots of swearing because he was doing it to this gang of teenagers. Yeah, like 10 teenagers, and they were like, no. They were freaked out, weren't they? It was like David Blaine style reactions. I know you said that the Rubik's Cube trick was trick of the week, and I'll give you that. This is my trick of the week. I'm going to give this 96%.
Actually, I think the next one's trick of the week.
Okay, you keep changing your mind. 96%. I love the fact that you can just throw this in your pocket and you're good to go anytime, anywhere. You can take it out, it's reset, you can put it back in again. This is something that's going to go in my case, and I think it's going to stay in my case as well. And it's relatable. Everyone knows what a flashcard is. 96% from me. What is it for you?
95.
95% for Ryland, 96% for me. Let's move on to the next trick. Next up, we have Tango Phantom Coins by Tango and A Kamimoto. And what this is, this is kind of really weird. This is a great routine. I don't know whether to give this a good review or not. And I'll tell you why I don't know whether to give this a good review. I think it's a bit overly pretentious. And what I mean by that, there's a few issues with this. So the first, right, let's rewind. What is it, first of all? What it is you show a see-through sheer silk type thing. You have $3 size coins examined, and one at a time they penetrate through the cloth until all three have penetrated through and everything's examinable. Now he credits a couple of people on here, and one of the people he credits is Chris Power, which makes sense because Chris has got a version of this in his lecture and that he's published. However, really the person he should be crediting for this is Michael Amar. It's Michael Amar that popularised this style of routine where the 3 coins come through one at a time. And so when you're looking at a trick like this, you kind of have to say, well, okay, Michael Amar's done it first, then Chris came up with his version, and Chris added an extra coin into the mix. So the Michael Amar version was just 3 coins. 3 coins and a net. One of the coins came through, then the second coin came through, third coin came through in the spectator's hands. Then Chris Power came in, he added an extra coin and made a whole bunch of sequences a little bit more visual.
He made a needle.
This is right, okay, so then this version's come along. What this adds to it, the main thing it adds to it, in all honesty, is the use of a needle. So you have this needle with the thread, and I haven't used the thread because I'm terrible at tying thread to a needle.
Oh, I was doing it at school today.
Were you? Well, you should have told me. You could have put the thread on the needle. But the whole idea is the presentational hook is you take this needle, you push the needle through the fabric, and you show that it's full of loads of holes that the needle will go through. You do the routine. When the second coin comes out, and you're left with 1 coin, you push the coin through, you push the needle through the coin and through the silk, and you've got this wonderful penetration, and then the final coin comes out as well. Now that is basically what we have here. That is basic. The thing that he's added, the main thing that he's added is this needle thing. I don't think that's enough of a creative leap to release your own version of this. It comes with a gimmicked coin to be able to do the needle thing, and the way that the needle penetration has been incorporated into the routine is clever because he's using an extra coin like Chris Power, but the extra coin is gimmicked to allow to do that needle penetration. Here's my problem with it. My problem is twofold. The first problem is the instructional video for this is in a completely foreign language to English. Which is kind of weird because he starts off by introducing the trick. Then after he's introduced the trick, which is English, so the introduction has English subtitles, not subtitles, has English dubbed. And then he does a performance to camera, but there's a person behind the camera answering him, and that's been dubbed into English as well. But then the other sort of 27 minutes of the download, he's talking throughout throughout this explanation, but it's not being dubbed into English and there's no English subtitles. So it's very difficult to follow. And you could go, well, you know, you can just get it from watching him explain it. And maybe you could. But if that was the case, why is he even talking at all? There's a lot of stuff that he's talking about that I think it needs to be dubbed over. So the first part is, it's quite a difficult tutorial to follow. But second of all, he's using, this is not for a beginner. This routine, the Michael Lamar routine, which he taught in Easy to Master Coin Magic.
Actually,
Easy to Master Money Magic.
I was going to say this is Trick of the Week, but I'm going back to Rubik's Cubes.
Okay, I think you should. This particular trick right here, the Michael Lamar version, right, which came out in Easy to Master Money Miracles by L&L, was within the grasp of most coin magicians. It wasn't difficult. You could do it yourself fairly easily. Yeah. It just used 3 coins, and it was a collection of click passes and so on and so forth. Chris Powers is a little bit more difficult, but it was still achievable. This, the difficulty level has gone up 1,000,000%, and it seems for no reason whatsoever. It's like he's put a load of fancy moves in there just to be fancy. So, for example, at the very, very beginning, he shows 3 coins, and as you take the 3 coins out, you've got to get a 4th coin into edge grip. And then he transfers the coin into this hand, and he does an edge grip to edge grip transfer into the left hand. Immediately at that point, I'm out. I'm like, why not just do a utility switch and go into it from finger palm? It's a much easier move. It's like he was trying to put moves into this when they're not needed. It's like, I've got no problem using difficult moves with coin magic and card magic. But one, you can't talk on your explanation tutorial because it's not dubbed and it's not got subtitles. That's your first issue, because I can't really follow what you're doing. And secondly, you don't need to put those moves in place. This is a very clear routine. You know, you want to go through the simplest possible approach. The simplest possible approach is not using the moves that he's using. And he does that all the way through the trick. Now, I have to tell you that right now, because I'm going to perform a version of this for you, but I'm substituting the moves for moves that I would use myself. Now, these moves will absolutely work in the real world, no problem. They'll probably work from an angles point of view better than what he's doing. Yes, they're probably not going to be as, manipulative for magicians, but you don't need that. If you're going to follow, if you don't have much experience with coin magic and you buy Easy to Master Money Miracles by Michael Lamar, you will be able to do a routine like this very, very easily with no extra coins. If you buy this and you've got no experience with coin magic, you are completely and totally stuffed, because you're going to be looking at these really complicated moves that he's put in place. Like, trust me, when you're going from edge grip in the right hand to edge grip transfer and an edge grip in the left hand, and that's the first 5 seconds of the routine, you know this is not for beginners. It's just not for beginners. And it doesn't need those moves in place. So I don't know who this is aimed at, because you don't need it. So I'm going to do a performance of this right now, but this is not the way that he teaches it. I sat there for like 3 or 4 days trying to get the moves down, and also, by the way, using some of the moves that he's using with a dollar-sized coin is not the easiest thing in the world. So I tried. I've got what you're about to see. What I do is the exact same sequence that what he suggested. It's just I've substituted a lot of moves that are much easier to use. So I'll do this performance for you right now, and then we'll wrap up this third review. So rather than have a few things, first of all, I have 3 Eisenhower dollars. Do you want to check those out? Make sure they're okay. Make sure there's nothing weird about them. Make sure they are what they appear to be. Yeah? Are we good? Mm-hmm. You happy?
Yeah.
Now, I also have a needle. Be careful of that. It's very sharp. The reason for the needle is to show you this material. This is a very special material. It's made up. It's kind of see-through because there's thousands of holes in them. In fact, you can actually push a needle through there and it won't make a hole because it's going through one of the holes already. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, lean off the table. We're going to try and do something. 3 coins, a needle, a cloth, and a lot of magic. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So we're going to start off by taking the coins and putting them inside there. Can you see them in there? Mm-hmm. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and do this. Watch right there, watch. If I just hold here, is there any way I can get those coins out of this handkerchief?
No.
No, because obviously they're inside. You can see them inside because it's see-through, yeah? Mm-hmm. Watch, the first one will actually penetrate right through. Give them a pull, they really are in there, aren't they? It's not some weird optical illusion. They really are in there. Mm-hmm. This is his confused face, by the way, people. You don't see his confused face very often, but this is his confused face. Now, you should be able to see that there's two others in there. Can you see? I'm trying to show you. Can you feel them that they really are in there, yeah? Yeah? They really are. Okay, hold out your left hand palm up and flat, if you can. And you hold on to this with this hand. And watch, bring this hand over here. You see these two coins, yeah? Watch if I do this. That next one comes out. That leaves us with one last one in here. Now you see, where's that needle? You see, I can actually pass the needle. What's happening is solid is penetrating through solid. And if you do it like this, you can actually have the needle go straight through the coin that you examine, straight through the coin, straight through the handkerchief, which is kind of weird, right? But we're going to try and do it one final time. Watch. Do you see that last coin in there, yeah? Hopefully you guys can see it as well. Is it genuinely in there, yes? Yeah. If I just rub, that final coin melts through. That's the handkerchief. That's the 3 coins. That's the needle. And you can examine everything. So there you go. I mean, it's a very difficult routine to rate. I said that to you, didn't I? It's a very difficult routine to rate. The gimmicks, well, gimmick, not really a gimmick, but the coins that come with this are... one coin that's sort of gimmicked. It's kind of gimmicked, really. The coins that... Whoops, there you go. Don't do that. The coins that come with this are very good. You know, they're Eisenhower dollars. The coin that's kind of slightly gimmicked is gimmicked well. You get a needle, you get a thread, you get everything that you need. But if you want to learn this routine exactly like it's performed by the guy on here, good luck, because I'm not going to, because I've got more important things to learn. I think that you can achieve the same thing without going to the trouble of that he's going to. And it's almost like he put all of these sequences in and all of these moves in to justify re-releasing a trick that isn't really a creative leap beyond what has come before. And he's credited Chris Power. Like I said, he hasn't credited Michael Amar. He's credited Chris Power. Great, and that's all well and good, and that's fine. But I think putting a needle through a coin at the end of Coins Through Silk and throwing a few wanky moves in there, I don't think that justifies this release. In all honesty, if you want to learn a routine like this, I would either go for Chris Power's version, which is a creative leap by adding the dollar size coin, and there's lots of sequences in there that are not that difficult, but takes advantage of the extra coin in a way that Michael didn't do, or go and get Michael Lamar's Easy to Master Money Magic series and go and learn the original and just get yourself a sheer silk. I don't think you need this. I'm going to give it 20%. I don't think it's justified. I don't think it adds anything to the plot. And yeah, I will do this. I will continue to do this, but I'll continue to use Michael Lamar's version. The version I just showed you was kind of my interpretation of what this guy did. But whenever I go and perform this in the real world, and I do perform this routine an awful lot, I'm going to use just 3 coins and a sheer silk, just like Michael Lamar taught me. 20%. What do you think?
I'm going to give this 5%.
5% for Ryland. Although one thing it has done for you is you do want to learn this routine, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're going to learn the Michael Lamar version now, routine now. I've never shown you this before. So 5% from Ryland, 20% from me. If you want to get it, don't go for Tango Phantom coins. Go for the Michael Lamar original instead. Oh, and yeah, by the way, the guy that's on the download, Michael Lamar. Credit Michael Lamar. How can you not know to credit Michael Lamar for this trick? It's just ridiculous. Okay, so the final trick is Card Through Window CTW by Peter Eggink, the electronic card through window. You know what? I've lost all hope that Peter Eggink is going to release a good trick. I have lost all hope that Peter Eggink is going to release a good trick. Everything that he brings out is complete and total tosh. Everything he brings out is awful. I cannot remember the last time there was a good Peter Eggink trick. And yet, despite my best judgments, I go and fork out £200 on another Peter Eggink trick. And what this one promises is that I can push a card through a window, as in the classic card through window plot. And it promises that it's a really practical method. Now, you know, I've seen a lot of chatter on the internet about this, and I've seen some people say, oh, I really hate this, it's terrible. I've seen a couple of people say they really like it. I don't know who is marketing this to. I really don't. First of all, when I opened up my set, it was a little bit broken, which you would expect with Peter, because most of the stuff that I open these days that's got something to do with Peter Eggink is not really in particularly great. It's not particularly great quality. It was a little bit broken. I was able to fix it. I've made the decision not to perform this on the review show. And the reason I've made the decision not to perform it on the review show is because this is completely and totally impractical. And that is why I don't like it. Peter talks about how...
What is it supposed to be?
Well, it's meant to be basically a card through window. So somebody picks a card and they you take a window and you show the window is see-through, and then you take the deck of cards, you throw the deck of cards at the window, and then the card that they've picked is actually on the other side of the window. And at that point, you go to the other side of the window, you take the card off, and you hand it out for examination. So you throw a deck of cards at a window, and the card gets...
Surely that's going to break the window?
Well, it won't break the window, but here's a few issues with it. That they don't... No, you don't. No, it needs more, like a brick, like you threw at my window once.
I did a stone.
Well, it was a stone that broke the window. Let me talk about a few of the problems here. First of all, one of the main problems is, and I think that it's obvious that this is the case, but this needs to be prepped beforehand. So you can't do this impromptu. Peter talks about how this is easy to carry around. It's bigger than a pack of cards. I don't want to show you the device, obviously, but this is the back of it. So I mean, it's bigger than a deck of cards. You're going to carry that around with you, and you need to set it on the window that you're going to perform at, and it's going to be sitting there on the other side of the window, right? So if you don't think you can do this in a restaurant, for example, and do it on the door where people walk in and out of in the restaurant, because they'll just see that this thing is just stuck there on the window. So the first thing that you need to understand is it needs to be prepped beforehand. Second of all, you get the impression from watching the trailer that it's a completely clear window, which it's not. It's not a completely clear window. This needs to be hidden behind something. Now, it can be a blind, although I don't have a single window in my house that has a blind that would be appropriate. Or he suggests having a Wi-Fi sticker and sticking a Wi-Fi sticker on the window in which you want to perform it on, and having this behind the Wi-Fi sticker, which will hide the gimmick.
Free Wi-Fi?
Yeah, like free Wi-Fi sticker like that. Now, the problem with that is free Wi-Fi is not... Let's say I wanted to do this around my friend's house, and I was going to prep this to do it around my friend's house. I think he's going to know if I stick a big fat free Wi-Fi sticker on it. Plus, I can't think of any venue that I have ever performed in where I get to the venue and I speak to the manager and I go, hey, excuse me, going to be performing here tonight. I want to do a special trick over there on that door. Would you mind if I put this big sticker on your window, please? Just so I can hide my massive freaking gimmick. And also because it's there and everyone can see it as they're walking past, they can fiddle with it or play with it, and you know it's something that you don't want to touch once it's prepped. You don't want to touch this. So I don't know where you're meant to be performing this. I don't understand where this is meant to be performed. Because nowhere is probably the answer. Yeah, there. So that's an issue to it as well. Also, through extensive testing. And I say extensive testing, I stuck it on a window and I activated it a few times. I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying it's remote controlled, especially as it's marketed as the electronic card through window. It's remote controlled. Probably 2 times in every 10 times, it doesn't do what it's meant to do. And I've followed the instructions to the letter on the download. I have followed it to the letter, and it doesn't do what it's meant to do. And if that ever happened in performance, it would just be dangling there and look ever so terrible. And when you look at the tutorial on there, and Peter says, hey, this is what it's meant to look like, you can kind of see that he's tried this a few times on the same window. And I think what's happened here is he's tried it a few times until he's got the perfect shot, because maybe the first couple of times it didn't work. I would pay money for Peter Eggink. This is a challenge right now to you, Peter. I challenge you to do this live to real people, because I have a feeling that maybe it'll work. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I challenge you to do this live to real people on a live stream or something, because honestly, I don't think this is going to be working as well as you expect, or as well as you're telling people or making out that it's going to work. But this is another example of a high-priced, overpriced piece of crap that's been bought out. And you know, it's this whole flashy trailer that makes magicians go, oh, I want to push a card through a window. No one's going to do this. Nobody is going to do this. Where have you gone? Oh, right, okay, yeah, I get it. No one's going to do this. Now, nobody, Peter, is going to do this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a few people out there that really like it, and maybe I'm wrong. But this doesn't work. It is not fit for purpose. It breaks more often than it's not. Oh, we haven't even talked about, we're going to get to that in a second. We haven't even talked about what happens when the card goes through the window, because what you have to do then, when you go round to take the card from the other side, you're going to have to, you're left with a card that has you can't hand that card out. You can't go anywhere near handing that card out without doing a massive cleanup. And then you're going to have to get your big, huge, massive box, and you're going to have to get it off the door. So I don't know what you think, Ryland, but if I saw a magician push a card through a window and by some amazing chance it actually worked, I would want to go straight over to that window. And I would want to go and look at that window, and you can't, because as soon as you go there, you're going to see exactly how it works. Like, this has not been thought out well. Like, just because a trick can be done, just because you've come up with a way with electronics of actually making this trick work, doesn't mean it should work. I mean, it doesn't mean you should be doing it. You tell me, where am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do it on stage? Do I wheel a window out on stage and I do it on stage? Where am I supposed to put my free Wi-Fi sticker, which, by the way, you didn't provide with the product, but whatever. Where am I going to do it? And what do I do if it doesn't work?
I've got another thing.
Yeah.
How are you going to get the Wi-Fi sticker off the window?
Well, that's the other thing. How are you going to get the Wi-Fi sticker off the window? Although I don't know of a venue that will allow me to stick a Wi-Fi sticker up. And, you know, so I'm left with hoping that when I go to a place, they're going to let me stick this thing up there. I'm going to hope that no one's going to walk past it and go, what the heck is that? And pull it off. And then I've got to hope that the electronics work as they are intended, which, let's be honest, I don't think it will. It's just a terrible product. I am sick of overpriced, terrible products coming on the magic market. It's almost like that there's creators out there that look at the magic marketplace as a place to print money. I know we'll bring this really expensive bag of crap out and we'll market it to magicians because everybody will buy it. Pass me the bin. I am doing exactly the same thing. No. What are you doing? No, you're not. No, you're not. Give me the thing. Give me the bin. Because I'm taking a stand. I took a stand with NPAD. I'm taking a stand with this. It is terrible. This is going in the bin. No, Ryland, no. This. Give me the thing. Where did you get a hammer from? This is probably important. Gone. Let's have a look at this. What's this? This is the remote control. Probably important. That's probably broken now. What's this bit? Oh, these are the suckers. These are the bits that are broken. Now, you know what the suckers are? The sucker is me for buying this absolute steaming pile of rubbish. Most important thing is I didn't break my table. This. Where'd you get a hammer from? Like, seriously? Why have we got a hammer in here? And how did you know there was a hammer and no one else did? Oh, it's part of the rubber hammer. Right, okay. That's hot dog. Right, okay. Look, this is terrible. I am going to continue to smash tricks up on this show if they are terrible. This is a terrible trick. Peter Eggink, you have been releasing terrible trick after terrible trick after terrible trick after terrible trick. Here's a piece of advice. Have a quiet word with yourself. Start to get back to basics. Stop trying to rip off your customers and do misleading trailers, and start producing magic that is actually fit for purpose and not a pipe dream. This is a pipe dream. You can't even do it on social. Well, maybe you could do it on social media. You can't do it directly to camera like most TikTok magicians. I don't know where you're going to do this. I'm not going to do it because it's in bits in the bin. That's where it belongs. It gets minus -1 billion%. What about you?
Minus -1 billion%.
Absolutely sucks.
And that's another review show in the back. And that's another review show in the back. And that's another review show in the back.
It is another review show in the bag. Guys, thank you very much for joining us here on Magic TV. We really appreciate it. We've smashed up another terrible trick and we will continue to do so. Magic producers, beware. Overpriced crap is going to be dealt with appropriately on this show from now on.
With a hammer.
Still don't know where you got the hammer from. Guys, we're going to be back again next Wednesday with another review show. I'm going to be back tonight at 9 o'clock with my friend Lloyd Barnes, and we're going to be back with the Magic podcast. Tomorrow I'm going to be back on Magic TV with a Magic stuff at 9 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, a Magic Live, at 2 o'clock, a Magic Shorts. And like I say, make sure you follow this kid. He is on Instagram. He is the Kid Magician.
I know I started the hammering.
Yes, you started the hammering.
I started mashing up the box.
Yes, you did. So make sure that you be back. You check out Ryland's YouTube channel as well. You got a lot of subs now, right?
I got 500.
I know, you're awesome. Woo-hoo. And I'm going to be back again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching. Half of 1,000. I'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. We'll see you again. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.